Hello, and welcome to a brand new series. We shall be looking back at one of the most fondly looked upon golden ages of sports car racing, celebrating 60 years since it started, and that is, of course, 1966, where we'll be starting our career in the British Sportscar Championship at Snetterton, driving for Peter Sutcliffe in a Ford GT40.
Good morning from Norfolk, and a very warm welcome to Snetterton, where under clear blue skies and bright spring sunshine, we gather for the opening round of the British Sportscar Championship, the Archie Scott Brown Memorial Trophy Race. The cars roll forward, engines rise, and in just a moment, the Archie Scott Brown Memorial Trophy Race will be underway. The flag is waved, and they're underway. A clean start by all at the front.
Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at the start of a very exciting series, one I wanted to do for quite a while. And it is, of course, our 1966 sports car series. We go, oh no! We don't make a very good start of it. That's the corner, which sets you up for a really big run down the Norwich Straight. We've got David Piper there in his Ferrari. We're going to see if we can outgun him down the straight. Oh, it's pretty equal. He's just got us. We've slipped into the slipstream. It's quite a dusty circuit this morning. We've started nice and early for a 25 lap race. And again, we'll go really deep and a box of neutrals as well. We lost a few positions there at the start. Really, our fight is with these cars here. I think I've got another fellow GT40 beside me. I do. But the David Piper Ferrari ahead and the other fellow GT40s, that's our battle. The British Sports Car Championship, although having a bit of looking at a bit of research for it, I think it was mostly non-championship events. So, which sort of means that there weren't really points awarded, and nor were there car classes. As you may have noticed, all the cars that were in front, which were the Lola T70 Mark IIs and the McLaren M1Bs, they've obviously disappeared into the sunrise. Which will stick our nose down the inside. We're going to see if we can out-drag him down the straight once again. Not quite brave enough around the outside. We'll let him go for now. Yes, those Lolas and McLarens have disappeared because they are obviously Group 7 cars, which, those who don't know, Group 7 was basically Can-Am cars then. Which the series was created in 1966. Hopefully, we'll get to have a go. Because at the moment, we're driving for Peter Sutcliffe in his GT40 Mk I. He, over the winter of 65 into the beginning of 66, went and raced in South Africa for sort of a winter series down there. So he's got his practice in for the 66 season, whereas now I need my practice. So we're going to do quite a few races in the British Sports Car Championship, starting here at Snetterton. Although the eagle-eyed viewer may have noticed this is the 64 version of Snetterton. That's only because I think it's one of the better versions of Snetterton. I think the only real difference would have been Russell Bend, which is which would have been the chicane just before the start-finish straight, after the long right-hander of Coron Curve. But I think we can gloss over that for now. We've already got some lap traffic, and it's closed everyone right back up again, so this is our best chance. So as I was saying before, we have split this into two car classes. We get a really good run. They've all been held up by the Chevron there and the Jaguar E-Type, and we're gonna chuck it down the inside. And I think we might just somehow didn't T-bone the Jag. Another box of neutrals again, and we're away. So now we are leading our class. So I've classed it into the Group 7 Can-Am cars because they were about 400 horsepower, whereas we are in our Group 4 GT40, we're about 380. So you wouldn't think 20 horsepower would give such a difference, but those Can-Am cars are so much lighter. They're only about 680 kilo curb weight, whereas we're sort of just the other side of a ton. We're sort of 950 kilos. So weight makes all the difference. So they're going to shoot off. They had full aluminium sort of bodies and chassis. The Jag somehow chucked it down the inside. You can see Bruce McLaren there. He's already 7 seconds ahead, and the Jag is still there. We finally get the move done now. We should just breeze past him down the straight. So yeah, so those Can-Am cars are going to disappear off, and they're probably going to lap us a couple of times. Our fight is with the Group 4 and the Group 6, which essentially it's the newer sports cars for the 66 season. And obviously our GT40 from the 65, as we get a little bit of a bump and run there from a fellow GT40. I didn't see what number that was. There were 2 red GT40s. I think the only other Group 6 car there is, I think it's the Porsche 906, because that was a brand new car. What gets it a bit wrong there on corner curves. And as I was saying, the 66 would sort of go off a bit further right into a chicane to bring us back on the start-finish straight, but it's quite fun this layout. You get, try and line up a really good run down there. Straight. Okay, we've got Nick Cussons there, driving his own GT40. I do believe he would let Richard Bond would normally be at the wheel of that one, but not today. So yeah, so our season starts here at Snetterton. So we get another good run. Hopefully we can hold them off. The other cars are better on the brakes. I just haven't got the confidence yet. Well, that was pretty good actually. But he's still gonna see if we can get the traction down. Skinny little tyres. He's just in the mirror there, so I think we've made the move stick now. And is he gonna... It's a brave move, gonna send it down the inside. Oh yeah, whoa! That's there's a hair there. That was a fairly aggressive move, even for the assessor calls it AI. Right, that's really put us back. We're back with David Piper, I guess, who was, just because of nature of events to come that we know of, I guess a Ferrari is our natural enemy in this. Although he's raced a lot cleaner than the other GTs have, so but I think as long as we can try and beat the Ferrari, and we've got the Porsche there, the only Porsche at the moment, So they weren't as powerful as us to get it all out of shape. Trying to get a good run down straight. Yes, those Porsches were very light and nimble, not quite as powerful as the Ferraris and the Fords. So I think they were under 2000 cc, weren't they? So we should just cruise by. We're in the braking zone. We're 3 wide. Try and make the apex. Oh, there's a bit of side-by-side contact there. Again, the Jag being involved. Right. Now that Ford GT's gone up ahead. We've got some time to catch up. Not if I do that though. Try and keep it from launching off that grassy bank. I think that's the quickest line. So yes, we've got a 25 lap race, as it was kind of for the Scott Brown Memorial Trophy at Snetterton. I think they held 2 heats of both being 25 laps. We're just going to do the one. As Eric Liddell is only a second up the road, or no, 5.9 seconds up the road. I don't understand the whiteboard. He's there, I can see him, and if we keep doing that, that's not going to help. So yes, we've got a few races first. We've got Snetterton and Alton Park, which are both going to be 25 lap races. Although in real life, Alton Park would have been the Tourist Trophy, which would have been like 150 lap race or something. We're not doing that because we've had to rejig the calendar slightly just for the sake of what tracks are digitally available to us. So Alton Park will just be the Gold Cup, which they did host in 66, and again it will just be a 25 lap race. And then after that we head to Daytona for the 24 hours. We're going to get 2 good races under our belt, and then ourselves and Peter Sutcliffe are going to head to 24 hours of Daytona and compete in that in our Mark 1 GT40. Not expecting to win like in this race. Obviously the Mark 2s were there for the World Sportscar Championship, which is ultimately the series we want to race in. But there's so many other races that appeared during 66 that obviously we're not limiting ourselves to the World Sportscar Championship, as well as only driving the GT40. Hopefully other teams, if we are good enough, will want us to drive the Mark II, and as well as other forms of sports car racing, long formats, short formats. Obviously doing some saloons as well, because obviously the Mustang came around not too long ago, and again was quite a formidable force in saloon car racing. So really we're going to be mostly focusing on Ford's 66 season. We all know that they won Le Mans, but really to me that was just the tip of the iceberg. They did so much more during that season that I'd just like to showcase it really, and try and make a sort of, not quite a career mode. I have an idea for a career mode that I shall do another time, but for now this is more like a season pass. We get to sort of choose what car we race and where, rather than based on working out a point system. So then if I perform well, then you get more driver points, and then you get to level up and get more choices from other teams and manufacturers. But that is for another series. We shall just be focusing on our 1966 season pass. So yes, for the British Sportscar Championship, we've got 2 races, like I said, then it's Daytona. But we're going to get most of them done very early on this year. So we've got Snetterton, we've got Alton Park, and then we're at Silverstone for the International Trophy, the Daily Express International Trophy. And then it should have been Mallory Park, but there's not the best rendition of the circuit digitally, so we've changed that to Crystal Palace, which would be the Grand Touring Trophy, which again was hosted in 66 and had these types of cars, but just wasn't part of this British Sportscar Championship. That wasn't a championship. If that makes any sense. And then we return back to Silverstone for the Martini Trophy. And then we go to Goodwood, which 66 was its sort of final year, really. After that, it sort of disappeared off the calendar for sports cars, single-seaters. That should be a little bit wide there. We are slowly gaining on Eric, but again, not if we do that. And we've still got David Piper up our chuff, so we do have to keep it on the grey stuff. So yeah, so the Goodwood will become the Tourist Trophy, which will be a 50-lap race. That'll be a hectic one. And then we're going to finish off at Brands Hatch for the Guards Trophy, which will be a 35-lap race, which I think was a pretty big event, looking at the entry lists from 66. As well as, quite appropriately, it is the 100th anniversary of Brands Hatch this year, so we will also combine it with celebrating 100 years of Brands Hatch, which I'm excited for. Again, I think I did a few videos last year celebrating Brands Hatch, but I'd like to do quite a few more. And that's basically it for this. So, like I said, we've split it into 2 categories, as there goes one of the Lola T70s, the Group 7 Can-Am cars, which were absolutely, I think, they were the most successful race car of 66. They pretty much won everything, and you can see why. I mean, he's vanished. whoever was driving that one, they're out of here. But yeah, so this event really did attract some big names. Denny Hulme from New Zealand, Chris Amon, again, New Zealand, Bruce McLaren from New Zealand, obviously David Piper, who was famous privateer. You've got Richard Atwood, John Surtees would race now and again. All in the Group 7 Can-Am cars. So yeah, so they'll have their own point system, and then we'll have our own point system for Group 4 cars. It'll be as it was. Oh my goodness, we're just all over the place, aren't we? So yes, we'll use the same point system as they used in 66. So I think it was 10 points for first, 7 for second, 5 for third, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. And then that's it. It keeps it nice and simple. And hopefully we'll have a shot at the Group 4 and 6 championships. Again, we're just going off, we're roughly about the same distance away from the car ahead. I think we're sitting in third place at the moment. There's two GT40s ahead of us, of Eric Liddell, who's racing for Norman Cuthberg, and Nick Carsons, who's racing for his own team. And then I think the light blue car that we've had behind us was Richard Atwood, driving for Fred English. And then, I say there were a couple of other Ferraris, the 250 LMs, a Dino. They were sort of, like I said, they're last year's cars, so not quite as quick as the current crop of sports cars. But for a little championship in Britain, it's quite an impressive eclectic mix of cars, honestly. Certainly drew the crowds at each of the events. So, yes, as I was saying, Merrily Park has been replaced with Crystal Palace, and then Croft has been replaced with Goodwood, just because of the availability of tracks. Well, some of them were available, but they just didn't look as good as I wanted them to. So it's a slightly modified schedule. As much as I like to try and keep everything as realistic as possible and immersive as possible. Yeah, I couldn't work out a way to get rid of this new high-speed tunnel vision blur thing. So I think for now we'll just have to live with it. Hopefully by the next race I would have sorted it out. It's just a little bit too intense. I think if I could turn it down, I need to work out where it's come from. If I can turn it down a little bit, then yeah, it won't make me feel like I need to get my eyes retested. Right then, we've got some blue flags once again. I think that's the Lotus 40 in our mirror. It'll definitely have us on the straight. But yeah, the 60s in the UK, or even globally for that matter, was a boom period. It was post-war. Everyone had jobs now, there was opportunity and growth, and you know, once you settled down with the other half and a house, And the next thing was to get was a car. And Ford, especially in the UK, in the 60s, brought out some of their most iconic cars. You had the Cortina, you had the Escort in 68, the Ford Transit in 65. I mean, it's almost like a Hoover or Biro, you know, you don't, in the UK it's not really a van, it's a Transit. And it's still iconic today. You had the Angular that was still out, and the Capri as well, in 69. I think they held like a quarter of the UK car market in the 60s, which is pretty impressive, just behind British Leyland. They're certainly making higher quality vehicles than what we the British could produce at the time. But along with the abandoned airfields, which most of our UK circuits are based upon, you know, you leave a giant stretch of tarmac unused, people naturally are going to want to start racing on it. So Silverstone, Snetterton, I think Donington. I think the only two that aren't are Brands Hatch and Alton Park. I think the rest of them have some sort of airfield or sort of a ring road around an estate link to them. And that showed in British motorsport in the 60s. Again, as much as the world economy was in its golden age, so was everything else racing in the UK. All these circuits popped up. Suddenly all these cars were now being produced by Ford, and then they wanted to go racing. And really, you had the perfect trio of cars, really. You had the Cortina, which was the small saloon, you had the Mustang, which was the big saloon, and then you had your, not quite prototype, but your World Sportscar GT40. And it wasn't only the cars they produced, even the engines. I mean, you had the, was it McLaren at the time using Ford engines in F1? I don't think it was as successful as Lotus then. But I still got points here and there. And then, obviously, in other series like Can-Am, obviously some of the Lolas would use Ford engines, and some of the McLarens and Can-Am would use Ford engines. So Ford was really worldwide, you know. They're really putting themselves out there. Even in Australia, obviously, you know, you've got the Ford Holden battle. Whether that started then, but they were, you know, sending their Mustangs over to race in the Bathurst 1000. And hopefully we'll get to race in that, maybe? I don't know what in, I don't know whether I'd go Cortina for that or Mustang. I feel like you'd want the Mustang for the straights, but you'd want the Cortina for over the top. And it certainly wasn't like it was, or certainly not like it is now, where it's, you know, barriers all the way around. It'd be more like what we're driving on now, which is just sort of grassy banks, and then when you get to the top of Skyline, if you don't turn right, you're going off the side of the mountain. Now then, we are catching up quite nicely to Eric Liddell. We're now only 0.9 seconds behind, and we gained 2 seconds that lap. So I understand what my pit board's trying to say, which is always handy, I find. We've still got that nice early sunrise going on, so we're going to go for the move. He's a bit slow out of that corner. See if we can have him on the brakes. Now he's gone steaming in. Oh, we clipped grass a little bit. Oh, trying to put down all the power again. The track's still pretty dusty, so it's a little bit slick on these tyres. I think we're a little bit quicker through this section of the circuit. Again, I just haven't got the brakes figured out. Maybe I need to lower the brake pressure. It doesn't look up as easily. Trying to ease in the power onto the main straight. We've got David Piper behind us with 3.1 seconds. We've maintained the gap ahead to Eric. We'll try him again down this. Whether this could be the back straight or not, I don't know. He's a bit wide, we carry the speed. We're going the slipstream again. And we go left or right. We'll try the inside this time. He's going to come across us, but we can put the power down a bit better than we can. I can see some lights in my mirror. That must be David Piper. Don't want to spend too long trying to overtake him. I'll keep it wide and try and cut in. Kind of works with there, but not there enough. Oh, that's an ambitious move. Shouldn't chuck it down the inside. See if I can try and get the power down. No. And we do it all again. We gained 1/100th of a second there on that lap. And David Piper closing is now 2.5 seconds behind. I don't think we've got many laps left either. And again, it's on the back straight. We get a good run. Is it going to be enough this time? He's just so much better on the brakes than we are. I think I was a little bit early there. And we got blue flags now, so it's gonna jumble things up a bit. That green Ferrari is definitely getting closer. And we've got a bit hot into that corner, but it's fine. And try and put the power down. Not quite. I can see some blue flags, but there's nothing there yet. Again, that Ferrari closes every lap. Do it again, try and get a good exit. Oh, he's got quite a big gap actually. We're going to get a bit wide. And again, we'll reel him in. We'll chuck it down the inside. We should clear him. So I'm just going to take my normal racing line. He's probably going to come back. Okay, we're side by side this time. Oh, he doesn't get a good exit. This could be it. Oh, I thought that's a Ferrari, and it's not. That's a Lola. I think that might be the first generation T70. Oh, he's right there again, Eric. Oh, we've got him very hot. Hold on. Can hold on to this. We've made the move stick, but now we've got loads of black cars that lap us. Just got to keep it clean now. I think we're up to second. Has Nick Cousins gone? Yes. Good, he's 6 seconds up the road. He's had a good race. I don't know if we'll be able to catch him or not. We might have to settle for second. Right, we should have some much faster cars blast past us on the straight. They didn't. Oh, that's to be annoying, because now they're going to be all over me on this chicane. I don't want them to be. He's watching my mirror. He's going to the inside. I don't want him to. It's not a move I want you to make. Oh, there's another one. Oh, no. We've just been looking in our mirrors. Oh, and there's David Page right there. Derek's right behind us as well. I think this is it. I think this is the last lap. To lead the lap task, we only got to do 24, haven't we? So this is it. This is to the line. For second place. I think we're going to hold it. He's closing. But we've done it. That's it. That is second place, I believe, in class. And we are P13 overall. Right then, let's see who won overall in the first race, and it was, of course, Skip Scott in his loaded T70 Mk II with a healthy lead of 12 seconds ahead of David Hobbs. Denny Hulme, good to see John Berry in his Lotus 40 in the top 5, being rounded out by Tony Sargent 1 lap down. And for our class of car, it was, of course, Nick Cousins with a healthy lead of nearly 9 seconds in the end. We were closely followed by Eric Liddell and David Piper, and then you had Richard Atwood rounding up the top 5 in the final GT40. And if we look to see the official classification, we can see that we finished in 13th place, which is roughly middle of the pack, so I think we can take that. And as we can see, we have finished the first of 7 races. So we have Autumn Park next, followed by a double Silverstone, Crystal Palace, Goodwood and Brands Hatch. And for our next 8 races, the only difference is we have Daytona slotted in the race after Autumn Park. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first video of many for our 66 season. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.